Hey, everyone! Imagine this. You're living in a gorgeous, sunny town right by the sea. Life is perfect. But one day, the mayor stands up and declares, from this day on, no more dying. It's officially against the law. Sounds completely bonkers, right? Well, hold on to your hats, because it's a true story. Today, we're diving headfirst into the wild and hilarious tale of Lavandou, a French town that actually tried to outlaw death. Get ready for some laughs, a few surprises, and a little bit of history. If you love fun facts and downright silly laws, do me a favor and hit that like button right now. Let's jump in! First off, let's set the scene. Lavandou is an absolutely stunning spot in the south of France, nestled right against the big, blue Mediterranean Sea. It's home to about 5,500 people, many of whom are older folks enjoying their well-deserved retirement. The air there smells like a mix of fresh flowers and salty ocean spray. Everyone's happy, just kicking back and relaxing under the warm sun. But in the late 1990s, a major problem started brewing. The town's cemetery, the final resting place for its residents, was full. I mean, completely and totally packed. Yup, you heard that right. With a large elderly population, about 80 people were passing away each year. That's like losing an entire classroom full of grandparents annually. The cemetery simply couldn't fit any more graves. It got so tight that some families had to find temporary spots for their loved ones. Sometimes, even borrowing space in other families' vaults. Awkward, huh? Imagine having to ask, hey, mind if my grandma crashes here for a bit? The mayor at the time, a clever and energetic guy named Gil Bernardi, knew they desperately needed more room. So, he drew up a plan for a beautiful new cemetery on a hill with fantastic views. Mayor Bernardi was like a hero from a storybook full of bright ideas and the energy to make them happen. He announced, let's build a peaceful, beautiful new spot for our families to rest. But wait for it, there's a twist, French laws said. Nope, not happening. A specific rule designed to protect the beautiful coastline from overdevelopment was blocking his plan. It was originally meant to keep the beaches natural and stop too many shops from popping up. But now, it was also blocking the cemetery. A court in the nearby city of Nice ruled, sorry! That land is too scenic. You can't build, or it might harm the environment. Mayor Bernardi was furious. He famously argued, we can build supermarkets, but we can't build a quiet, respectful place for the dead. The environmental group suggested an alternative. An old, abandoned rock quarry, a bumpy, dusty hole in the ground. Bernardi basically laughed and said, that's no better than a trash dump. There's no way our loved ones are going to rest there. So, what did the mayor do next? He got creative and a little bit sneaky. On September 23rd, 2000, he passed a new municipal decree. It stated, it is forbidden for anyone not having a plot in the cemetery to die in the territory of the commune. Boom! Just like that. Dying in Lavandou was illegal. Can you believe it? Of course! There were no fines or jail time for the deceased! How would that even work? Hey ghosts, you need to pay up. But it was a brilliant and funny way to protest the absurd bureaucratic rules he was up against. Mayor Bernardi explained, this absurd law is meant to fight an absurd problem. The town absolutely buzzed with excitement. Locals cheered for their mayor's bold move. Tourists flocked to see the town that banned death. And newspapers all over the world picked up the story. Headlines screamed, French town bans death. It was a stroke of genius. But hold on a second, this wasn't actually the first time a place had tried to ban death. Let's do a little time traveling. Way back in ancient Greece, over 2,500 years ago, the entire island of Delos made dying illegal to keep it sacred and pure for the gods. In fact, they banned births. Their tuit was all about maintaining purity. And over in Japan, on the holy island of Itsukushima, they've had a ban on both deaths and births since 1878 for religious reasons. Lavandou's clever idea even inspired others in France. In 2007, another town called Kugnokaped, the ban when their cemetery filled up hand. Guess what? It worked! They got their new cemetery approved. Back in Lavandou, the ban was a massive hit. Maya Benatti joked with reporters, "No one has died since the law was passed. Everyone is immortal now. Wish that were true." Of course, people still passed away, but their bodies were simply taken to neighboring towns for burial. The real magic of the stunt was that it forced everyone to talk about the rigid coastal protection laws. It highlighted how sometimes rules designed to protect one thing can completely ignore the real human needs of a community. The environmentalists argue that saving nature was paramount, but the mayor proved that you need balanza that serves people too. And guess what? The whole performance paid off. The town continued to fight the court's decision, and over time, they were able to find better solutions for burials that didn't ruin the area's natural beauty. Other towns copied the protest tactic, and Lavandou became famous around the world as the town that told death to take a hike. So, my friends, what's the big lesson we can take away from this crazy story? It's that sometimes, to fix a stubborn problem, you need a little dash of humor and a whole lot of bravery, just like Mayor Bernardi. It's a great reminder that laws should be there to help people, not to make their lives harder. And hey, it just goes to show how one small town with one big, silly idea can make the entire world stop and smile. It really makes you think, right? About life, death, and all the weird and wonderful things in between. If you enjoyed this wild tale, do me a huge favor and smash that like button, subscribe for more weird history adventures, and please comment below, what's the silliest law you've ever heard of? Share it with us! Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.